Record. Hello, everyone. So, lately, you guys, I've seen a lot of you express that you've been struggling with cold inviting. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And then Amy's going to answer all you guys' questions from that little Q&A. I think there's like 3 of you that asked questions. I know there's a group. Some of you from our cold invite group are in here. And so basically what we did for April and we're going to do for May is I started like a cold invite thread where basically, or just in general invite, because some of us invite warm market, some of us do gratitude messages. I mean, it's just like more of an invite thread. And it's worked out really well so far. And I'm going to start one for May, and I'll talk more about it in my little thing. And so let me just start my screen share and just get started, because I don't have the paid version of Zoom. So we have 40 minutes. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. I see Emily nodding again. Thank you, Emily. Okay. So let's do this. And then I have another. Okay. So announcements that Amy wrote. We only have one. 2.15 more days to hit Success Club. At first I was like, is it 15 more days, 2 more days? I'm like, what is this? The prize for hitting Success Club 5 is a Shakeology apron. And the top 200 point earners for Success Club for April get a fast pass for the core at Summit. The core has an obnoxious line, and so you definitely want to be first, especially if there's a program you want to buy, or usually all the cutest stuff goes first. Like, I kid you not, in like 2 hours, like some of the stuff will be gone. And so that's really, really cool. You know, there's still 2.15 more days to push for Success Club. Okay, so let me just get into what I want to talk about. As coaches, we overcomplicate things. It's just human nature. We overcomplicate things, we overthink things, we overstress things of the simplest of tasks. And I just want to show you guys how simple cold inviting is. And I'm actually going to invite someone tonight and then follow up with a prospect right in front of you guys, just to show you how I run my business. And I want to knock out a common limiting belief about cold invites, and basically share with you guys one of my biggest nightmares and why I'm passionate about cold inviting and inviting in general, and just, you know, what it kind of shows about you and your business when you just go out there and invite people. So cold invites. One day, okay, so first of all, when I started as a coach, I only had 100 friends on Facebook, and I started a brand new Instagram account. So the Instagram account that I now have that has over 9,000 followers, I started from 0. And I only had 100, maybe 150 friends on Facebook. And so I ran out of, I mean, obviously you're going to run out of 100 people so quick, maybe in a couple weeks, really, really quick. And so one day, you know, if you're a brand new coach, or if you're a seasoned coach, you're going to notice you're going to run out of warm market real quick. And you're going to have to talk to strangers. Uh-oh. Of course it's scary. For some of us, it's scary. Actually, you know, I have an advantage. I, for some reason, feel more comfortable inviting strangers than I do my warm market. And so I have an advantage of this, but I invite my warm market too. I just do what's scary for myself anyway. So if cold inviting scares you, do it afraid and do it anyway. Because when you think about all the great people in history, they when they went for their dreams, obviously they were scared and they just did it anyway. So whether you're scared or not, just push the send button and just do it anyway. It's natural human behavior to be scared. And don't ever think that you're going to stop being human one day. So don't ever think that you're going to magically not be afraid of anything anymore. And so just do it anyway. Facts about all successful coaches. We all hate cold inviting. I still hate it to this day. It still scares me to this day. I still make assumptions about people. I still think, oh no, this person's gonna, you know, freak out on me, or this person's gonna hate me, or sometimes I'll be like, no, this person will for sure say yes to me, and then they end up saying no. So you just never know. And I still hate it, and I know Amy hates it, but you know, we do it anyway. Why? Because us as successful coaches, just in general, everyone in this business who has any kind of success, we do this because we have big goals. And in order to have big goals, you know, we have to reach out big in order to achieve big things. And big goals require big balls, lady balls for most of us. We're mostly all women. I'm sure we're all women on this team call. And how do we grow these lady balls? You guys are all going to roll your eyes at me. Personal development. I'm serious. Like, you guys need really, really thick skin. or you will fail. Not because, you're going to fail, but mainly because you're going to let fear control your business, and fear will not ever let you succeed. So again, do it afraid. And this business is truly about strangers becoming friends. I had no idea who the heck Stephanie was when I became a coach. She was a random stranger who just decided to post on Instagram, and I was a random stranger who saw this random doctor. First of all, I followed her because she was a doctor and into fitness, and I was on the path of going into med school at the time. So I thought, oh my God, a doctor, it works out. Like, I thought I was too busy to work out, and she's working out. What the hell is this? So I followed her, and then one day I saw her coaching opportunity. So just proof that there's a lot of strangers becoming friends involved. And if you guys hear Facebook pinging, it's because I have to have it open, or else I'm going to lose those prospects that I opened for you guys. So just bear with me. And then I just want to let you know, like, if your coach didn't put themselves out there, whether it's through a post or an invite, you would not be here right now. And that's just sad. So by not reaching out to anyone and everyone that you can, you're doing a disservice to someone who needs this opportunity to save them and their family. There's a lot of people who will never reach out to you because they're just way too afraid, or, they're too nervous, or they just don't want to for some reason, but they're just screaming to have a lifestyle change for one reason or another. And we're here on talking about the coaching opportunity or a challenge group or whatever it is. Like, some people want you to reach out to them, and you might save their life reaching out to them. And of course, there's a lot of people who will reach out to you. It's just a balance between the two. But you won't know until you just go out there and invite people. And so a lot of coaches we all have our own version of a nightmare situation. For some of us, it's hearing the word no. For me, rejection is the least of my worries. When I hear a no, I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm moving on. Goodbye. Next person. Like, that's just how I am, because I just know that there's millions upon gazillions of people who want to do this or who need to do this and who would say yes to me. And so I just move on until I find my yeses. My worst nightmare situation is seeing a prospect or someone who I wanted to invite or should have invited to the opportunity, or mostly the opportunity, and I was too afraid to ask them, and someone else was not too afraid to ask them, and someone else asked them, they said yes, they signed up, and now they're killing it at coaching. So, like, imagine seeing your best friend or someone just really awesome on your newsfeed, just someone you really, just someone on your dream team. Like, we talk about our dream team, like someone you just know is going to rock at coaching, but you were too afraid to ask them. And then someone else asked them first. They said yes to them, and then they sign up, and now they're killing it. And now you're like, oh my God, that could have been my diamond coach right there. That's a nightmare situation to me. And so that's like kind of my motivation of why I invite every single day. Cold inviting does not mean you're out to get people. So a lot of us have this limiting belief that we're going to portray to other people that we're just inviting for the sake of our own business. I believe that that's your own limiting belief. I believe that perhaps you don't believe enough in your business, or you're perhaps concerned about the integrity of your own business, so you let that stop yourself. Like, for instance, I believe in my business so much. It's changed my life so much. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, today I paid off a surgery and a bunch of debt. I just realized that back in December, I was $15,000 in debt, and today I'm only $7,000 in debt. I have no idea how, but I realized today that because of Beachbody, I paid off $8,000 worth of debt in 5 months. I honestly have no idea how, but that's what I realized today just by being consistent with this business. And so it's changed my life so much. And I know there's so many people out there who have some sort of debt or have some sort of struggle. And so I know that if I don't reach out to them, they might not ever know about it. If I don't post about it, they might never know about it, So, and some people will not connect to Amy and will only connect to me. Some people might not connect to Emily and might only connect to Allison. Some people might only connect to Amy. I mean, like, we all have our own strengths. We're all different people. We're all unique. And there's someone out there that can only connect to us. And so never be afraid to put yourself out there. Never be afraid to reach out to someone. And so the motivation behind Invites sometimes just happen to be cold, and that's okay. You never know when someone needed you to reach out to them. If you only invite people you know and you're challengers to the coaching opportunity, or wait for people to reach out to you, you're missing out on a gold mine of people who are too afraid to reach out to you. And so it's super duper 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 simple. Figure out a script. So I wrote a script for myself. Excuse me. I had caviar before the team call. Figure out a script that works for you and formulate it exactly how you would actually talk. So I formulated kind of like an opening line, just like, hey girl, kind of message, but I personalized this. I use their name and whatever. I asked how they're doing, and I asked, I just say, I'm kind of looking for, well, I'll show you guys what it is. And then I have one that's like, if they have some sort of concern, I'll answer it naturally. And then I have something about like, if they're interested, I write, it's like the next line. And then I share with them usually the webinar. And then for challenge groups, I always say, hey girl, I have this group coming up. I'm just looking for people who want to get healthy and fit over the next month, blah, 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 blah. So I have several scripts, and I share all these scripts with you guys. It's all in the Team Goal Diggers page or the Team Goal Diggers Google Drive in the pin post. And I know Amy has some stuff collected too. So just ask us where we can find the scripts. And so anyway, just figure out, just create something, and you don't always have to follow it. And again, you're not trying to be a robot. Like the point of this is not to be a robot. It's just to reach out to people. And sometimes scripts help us kind of grow those lady balls because we don't have to overthink it. We just send, push, enter, and go. And so give yourself a daily number goal. For a very long time, my number was 7. Right now, it's just 5. I just like the number 5, power of 5s. And that's what kind of we're doing in the Goal Diggers Invites Challenge. We invite 5 people or whatever, and then we check in with each other. And it's been working really, really well. And I'm going to do this for May, and I'm going to make a little sign-up sheet and then create another thread for May. I think it worked really well. And it's just a great group of girls. And so what I do is I open up my friends list, or I'll open up, I'll take a collection. And you can do this on Instagram too. So anyone who's been liking a lot of your pictures consistently, or I will see someone really cool in my newsfeed that's just like me, and I'll check and see if I've ever had a conversation with them. Because Facebook, what I like about Facebook is that it saves all the conversations, and so you can see if you've ever like invited them in the past, and if you have, you can do like a re-invite, kind of like, hey, checking in, have you changed your mind kind of thing. Or you can be like, oh, I've never talked to this person before, but they look like someone, like me, around my age, similar interests, and so I'm going to invite them tomorrow. And so I always keep it to 5 a day, sometimes more, never less though. And then use whatever script is appropriate. And it doesn't even have to be a script. It's just asking someone simply if they're interested. Boom. So what if I run out of friends? A lot of you might ask, okay, like one day if you invite everyone, 5 people a day, you're going to run out. Okay, so why is the add 3 to 5 friends on the Goal Diggers Power Hour sheets? That's why I talk a lot about adding 3 to 5 friends into your network, because you want to keep expanding your network. So that way you add 5, invite 5, and the people literally never run out. And especially on Instagram, especially if you're using Instagram, you're going to have followers galore all the time. Like you're never going to run out of people to talk to. It's physically impossible for you to talk to millions of, why is there a fly around me right now? It's physically impossible for you to, talk to millions upon millions of people. And manifestation, Catherine takes over. So of course I'm going to bring my manifestation side out of me because a lot of you are into that stuff. And I love it when you guys talk about manifesting like diamond and manifesting prospects and manifesting coaches and stuff like that. So something just to note, when you go out there, when you really put yourself out there, when you are willing to do something that you're afraid of doing, the universe will notice and it has your back. It likes people who go after the dreams no matter what and do not give up. So use the power of the universe, God, your higher power, whatever you believe in, to help you grow your lady balls. Okay, my last slide, physical proof of how simple it is. So I'm going to do a cold invite. I've looked for a prospect, found a prospect, and something I check for is I check that they're not a coach already. So this is me a coaching invite. Check that they're not a coach already. I look into your mutual friends. If their mutual friends is like Emily Eastwood, I'm probably not going to invite them because that's Emily's prospect. If I see that me and Amy have mutual friends, then again, same thing. If I see me and Allison have mutual friends and then several other coaches, okay, this is obviously a coach probably on our team or just a coach in general or someone's challenger. And so I really look for someone who's just like a very fresh prospect, someone that I for sure isn't a coach, for sure isn't a challenger. There's no posts about the 21-day fix or anything. So I just make sure, and I look and see that they're quite active on Facebook, so that they are posting on Facebook. So if their last post is like December of last year, they're probably not active on Facebook and probably won't see your message. And then I cold invited a prospect the other day, and I just want to show you how I follow up. A lot of you guys ask like how to follow up with people, and some of you are afraid of following up, and so I just want to show you exactly how I do this. So my coaching prospect script. So this is just my script. Sometimes I change it. I make it, this is available on the team page, so I don't have to read it right now. But basically, I'm going to invite this girl, Michelle. So I already picked her out, and I showed you guys what I look for. So I'll just write Michelle and then message. And so I've never talked to her before, but I've liked her stuff. I've interacted with her before. And so paste. Boom. Invite sent. That is 1. So today I've sent 6 so far. And then depending on her response, I'll follow up with her. I will answer any questions, and we'll just go on there. And you want to be as natural as possible. You never want it to seem like this is just a cold invite and you're inviting for no reason. This is literally me being so passionate about my business that I want everyone to know about it, and I want everyone to know about this opportunity. And then this girl watched the webinar link yesterday. I sent her and I saw that she saw it. And so I'm just going to ask, hey girl, just checking in to see if you've seen the webinar yet, and if you have any questions for me. Question mark, smiley. I always like smileys. Boom, follow-up done. And that's literally as easy and as simple as it gets. I hope that helped you guys. And now Amy's part.
Okay. So bear with me. I'm on the first day of the 3-day refresh, so I'm a little foggy right now.
You mean the reset?
Whatever, the ultimate reset. I don't even know what I'm doing. I just got done with the first day of the ultimate reset. Okay. Seriously, like the caffeine withdrawal is real right now. All right, so you guys had some good questions, and I'm just going to go over them real quick, and then Catherine, just chime in whenever if you have something to add on to what I'm saying. So we just did it this way this time, so Catherine wouldn't have to talk the entire time when she, answering both of them. So Julie asked, having a diverse group of women in your challenge group, I have a really big age range from 20s to 60s with different physical abilities and health issues. This is my first group, and there's 20 women in there. So my opinion, I think the bigger the group, the more diversity, the better for some things. 20 is a great number, and having diversity in there just brings different, experiences and different people together to motivate each other. So I think the most important thing is probably to meet your challengers where they're at. You might have someone who's in really good shape already, and you might have someone who's just starting. And it's not that I want you to treat them differently, but you need to approach them differently, as in one of them is going to have, more questions probably, or one might want to be pushed harder than the other one. So you have to really create a safe space where everyone can share, but at the same time help each person have their own goals, and really work towards those specific goals and base their progress on those goals, not base their progress off of other people. Because that's the number one thing I get when I've got a really diverse challenge group, is that people saying like, oh, wow, you guys as befores are really where I want to be after. And it always, I always make sure to address that right away. No, this is your journey. Let's figure out where you are going to be. Let's see where you are right now and where you're going to be at the end of the 21 days or however long the group is, versus playing the comparison game, which is very easy to do, especially when we're, first starting out and really insecure. So create community. And most good communities, everyone's not the same. You need to have a variety of different people, a variety of different ages, a variety of different viewpoints and personalities to really make something click anyway. So I think it's a really good thing that you have a diverse group of women in this group. And, focus on similarities. You're all women. You all have shared experiences of some sort. If you're, creating a safe space in the group where everyone can share and feel supported, everyone's going to get along and they're going to get out of it what they need. And I also said, don't assume before you experience, because I had a lot of this where I was like, oh gosh, people's moms are in our group now. what do I do? Do I act differently? And it was really hard for me at first because I was like, I feel like, I'm 23 years old. No one's going to listen to me, but don't assume that they're not going to get something out of it. Like, I was so embarrassed, and I used to say this like completely genuinely, to like add my mom to our challenge group, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is she going to do? Or like, what is she going to think of the challenge group? And I swear she's in there every single day, like liking and commenting on everyone's posts. She absolutely loves it. And so like, it wasn't what I was expecting. Allison. Yeah. My mom is super into it. And she, it wasn't what I was expecting at all. And I totally assumed that she wouldn't get anything out of it, but I was wrong. So, just see what happens. If something comes up, deal with it as it comes along, but it'll all be good, and just make it fun.
And I was just going to mention that the great part about Beachbody is that we have programs for all different age ranges. And I actually had my first one-on-one with Julie earlier today, and I told her that you're going to go over this in the team call. But what I also mentioned is like, I know this is she's starting like just a group in general, like a free group. And I mentioned Beachbody on Demand, 30-day free trial. Have everyone try a program that's right for them, because the women in their 60s might like something else, like Tai Chi, yoga, ballet, or whatever, or they're going to try.
My grandma's doing size.
Yeah, size or PiYo or something. And then the younger ladies might be like, yeah, insanity, let's get it, or, whatever. And so I mentioned that to her as well. So never forget about Beachbody on Demand. Like, it's such a great resource.
So Kelsey, tips for having no coaching motivation but refusing to quit. So this is my thing. If you don't want to coach, don't coach. But if you do want to coach and you're struggling with motivation, that's where we can work with you. Determine what you want out of coaching. So if what you want is just to get in better shape, focus on that part. If what you want is to just make a couple referrals, focus on that. Lots of us are business builders. And so if you look in the team pages, you're going to see us talking a lot about the business and how to build the business. And if that's not what you want, you don't need to listen to those posts. On the other hand, if you really want to coach and make this your part or full-time job, you will get going. You have to get going. So my thing with motivation, and a lot of this comes out of the compound effect because it's really what changed my mindset on motivation, but motivation is not something that just comes to us without work. It's not like something that just hits you in the face and you're like, yes, I'm motivated, unless you have Energize, in which case like there is a little bit of help. But yeah, the motivation is something you have to get going. Like I picture it like this huge, like seriously, like think like huge, like stone ball. And it's going to suck to get it started. Like if you're rolling this ball along a flat surface, it's going to be really heavy at first and it's going to be hard. But as it gets rolling, you start getting momentum and it gets easier to push. And that's how coaching is, and that's how fitness is. Once you get started, it's hard to start. It's hard the first few days. It's probably not super rewarding the first few days. But as that ball gets going, you get excited again. So my advice for people who are on the fence about coaching right now is start by committing fully to your fitness journey. Really focus there. Like this is the bread and butter of the business. And it's also probably part of what drew you into coaching in the first place. Sometime you wanted to get in shape. So now follow through. And as you get healthier, you'll become more passionate again about the programs and the products. And you'll inspire other people just by doing what you're already going to do. All right, so tips for leading a successful team. So lots of you guys are starting to add coaches, and this is going to be like, a big question and that people have, and how do I lead a team? So, and this is what I've heard from top leaders, until you hit a stable diamond, and this will be, I'm sure, echoed at Summit as well, because I actually think I heard it for the first time at Summit last year. Until you hit a stable diamond, even star diamond, some people even say 2-star diamond, 80% of your business should be focusing on challenge groups and recruiting. It should be focusing on your business, and only about 20% goes to your coaches. And the reason behind this is, one, as your uplines, we're here to help run trainings, to help you get started with new coaches. You don't need to remake a whole system. Just plug people into what we already have, and pass along those same tools, and people can get started that way. Your focus is to build to a point where you have a stable enough team that you have people to work with. Recruiting people and working with our challengers is our number one priority at first, because only about, and I say 2%ers here, only a few people will take this business and run with it. You have to keep looking for people who really want it. Because if you have like 4 coaches and you're super, super, super invested in them and you're not recruiting anymore and you're spending all your time with these 4 coaches, if they don't want it, there's nothing you can do. You know, you can be like pushing them and pushing them and pushing them and pouring yourself into them, and they could just quit one day. So it's up to you to kind of find more, keep expanding your market. Along with that, focus on finding your 2%ers and lead by example. I say 2%, that's a Danny Johnson term. She talks about how, you know, 98% of the population is really happy with just being mundane. They're happy with the mundane day-to-day stuff. They don't see growth potential. You're looking for the 2% of people that do. We are the 2% of people. The people who are working on this and really see this as a business opportunity, we're the 2%. But that means you're going to have to sift through a lot of people to find that 2%, unless you're super lucky. It's all sitting right there on top. But, you know, there's going to be some sifting. So the most effective way right now is to lead by example. Hit Success Club every month and share with your team how you're hitting Success Club. Like, oh, this ad I did was really good, or I ran this, or I did this on Instagram and I found a lot of success with it. So hit it yourself and share how you're hitting it. Make and showcase quality posts by yourself and your team. Posting is hard. Posting, you know, comes really naturally to some. You know, some parts of posting come naturally to some and some parts don't. So sharing quality posts and different posts, like, oh, that was a good idea. Like, I really liked Emily's post the other day, or Allison had a really great post, or whoever. Share those posts with groups and with your coaches and say, this is a really good way to talk about this if you hadn't thought about it before. And it just gives people more ideas. Hit Emerald every 2 weeks. And this is, again, I talked about this last week, but it was one of the really big things I took away from that leadership conference was every 2 weeks, add 2 coaches. So if you hit Emerald every 2 weeks and you teach your coaches, like, yes, this is the normal that we hit Emerald every 2 weeks. That's, you know, helping them build their business, helping you build your business, and being, you know, leading a successful team that is growing and thriving. And then run with the runners. Yeah, you can't want this opportunity for someone else. They have to want it for themselves. And I think, honestly, the most important thing for you to start being a good leader is to start doing personal development on leadership. It's something I didn't ever think I would be. I was like, I would never describe myself as a leader. So when you realize that about yourself, you have to be like, wow, okay, I need to pick up some leadership books and I need to figure out what this is even all about. And it all just starts to click. So
John C. Maxwell is probably the best person to go to for leadership, personal development. I read literally all his books, and the first year of coaching, so I've realized that I've had themes of personal development in my coaching career. The first whole year, the first kind of personal development that I chose to do was all about leadership. Mm-hmm. And then like the second year I changed to like other things. And now what I do is more like spiritual personal development. But I just thought that was really interesting. And John C. Maxwell has amazing, and also Simon Sinek has amazing leadership, like Leaders Eat Leaders Eat Last. Huh?
Dave Ramsey has some good
ones. Oh, yeah. And then podcast. Another note I wanted to make is the 80% on your business and 20% towards your coaches. This is a harsh reality that I've had to face because I spent so much time babysitting the team that I already had. Like a while ago, maybe like a year into my business, I focused so hard on the coaches that I already had and very little on recruiting until all the coaches that I had just did not want it for themselves, ended up quitting, and my team just shrunk like crazy literally overnight. Like nothing was happening in my business. And I know at Summit, my first Summit, or maybe last year's Summit, I think Brigida Linford was talking about how the percentages thing. So like as a brand new coach, it should be like 100 and 0, like 100% recruiting because you don't have any coaches. So then like as an Emerald, it's like 90-10, and then, you know, Diamond, 80-20. And they're like, so guess how much, you know, like, and they're like, and she's like, guess how much a 15-star Diamond focuses on our team and recruiting. And, you know, she's like, you would guess that we spend 100% on our team because we're already established, we already have our team, blah, blah, whatever. And she's like, no, it's 50-50. I still spend half my time. And so she talked about her system, how literally the first half of the month, it's only about her business. The first 2 weeks of the month, you know, when we're all at zero Success Club, zero everything, she's like, I'm recruiting, I'm looking for challengers, I'm getting the Success Club points, making sure my business is first and foremost the most stable one. And then the next 2 weeks, it's like, she's like, then I focus on making new trainings for my team, pushing my team, making videos for them, asking them how they're doing one-on-ones with them. And so it's literally, even as a 15 star, you're only spending half the amount of time in your team, just 50-50. And so you guys should really be recruiting, because again, like the 2%ers, you would be surprised. I mean, Barbie Kalev, she's in our upline. She's more like our grandma coach. I mean, she's been around forever.
Like great grandma. Like she's
great,
like our-
yeah, great grandma. And she made a post in the Diamond page that like forever got ingrained in my head, because I used to cry when a coach quit on me, like cry. And you know, I got over that real quick because, you know, a lot of talking to Stephanie and stuff like that. But she made a post and she's like, I, in the amount of years that I've been coaching, I recruited 600 something coaches myself. What is it, like 400 something are no longer coaching? 400 something. That means out of 600, 400 have left. And that doesn't mean that the rest are diamonds. It does not mean that. It means that just 200 are still there after like 7 years that she's been coaching.
She's 15-star qual today.
Oh, is she? Oh, yay. That's awesome.
Start qualifying today.
Yeah. So just today, she's 15 star. And so like a lot of people are not going to stick around. That's just the reality. Not everyone is meant to be a business owner. Not everyone can, you know, some people, like I've literally heard, like, some people are just like, I don't like being my own boss. I like being told what to do. And so, you know, I can't really be a business owner, and that's fine. We all have different personalities. We all have different goals. You can be successful doing anything. I would never be the one to say that you can only be successful if you're your own boss. Like, you can be, there's all kinds of positions in the world that you can be successful in, whatever. And this particular area and this particular industry, you know, network marketing, like, you have to be your own boss, and there's not going to be that many people they're going to find that are going to run with it. And so you have to keep looking. And even when you think you're stable in your business and you think you can relax, you can't. You just got to keep going. And it doesn't have to be as aggressive. Like, I would imagine at 15 star, I'm not going to be like, you know, I need to recruit 30 coaches a month. I would assume that I'd be like, okay, about 5, you know, or hitting Emerald every 2 weeks. That sounds like a great, you know, thing to do. And so, but the recruiting just never stops. It just never, ever, ever stops. And looking for challengers never stops. And so never, you know, don't spend too much of your time and energy on your coaches, because in reality, those of us who are successful, and those of us who are killing it and hitting Success Club and recruiting coaches and just really are into this business, we're the ones who were never needed to be babysat. Like, Stephanie never had to babysit me. I never babysat Amy once. And so think about that. If you're spending a lot of time babysitting other coaches and they're not doing anything, they're most likely not going to be your rock stars.
And by all means, if you have, like, look at realistically who is doing stuff in your business. Like, if you've got coaches hitting Success Club or getting points on the board or recruiting people, like, yes, spend time with them, get on a call with them, chat with them, all of that. Like, by no means, like, are we saying don't and mentor your coaches and pass things on. Just be selective, you know, don't mentor the person who hasn't done anything with the business, hasn't made any posts, and it's 6 weeks later and now they want your time. You know, you can give them a little bit of your time, but don't pour your soul into them, because the chances of them continuing to stick around are not that high. Mm-hmm. We did it. We made it in under 40 minutes.
I know. I'm so proud. Mm-hmm. So, does anyone have any questions or comments or anything?
I didn't even know who all was on here. I like hopped on last second.
I know.
Sure.
I saw some new faces.
Yeah. Any questions? We've got like 4 minutes, 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Allison thinks your mom is adorable and she loves her.
Funny. My mom is ridiculous. All right. It was so good seeing you guys. We should take a picture. There's so many new people on here.
Okay, yeah, hold on one sec. I'm taking a picture.
Yeah.
Everyone smile. Okay, it was a screenshot, so hopefully that works out.
Yes. Send it to me.
Cool. I will. You guys should all make a post about your awesome team. Just Team Thursday night post. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.